Can you speak? Good. Let's see anything more. Maybe we should hide it. Oh, could you drop it on the floor? Yes. No.
Businesses use a lot of big data that includes personal and confidential
Doesn't have to be long. Bro. 5 minutes. I think that's.
My speed's coming so fast.
Is that what it is? You get on here, it's just your TV. You get on the phone, just your TV. All right. Shalom, family. Welcome to the KGB Live Show with your host, Brother Kabir. Well, guys, here we are for another episode 9. Can you believe it, brother? Episode 9.
Episode 9, I tell you.
9 weeks. I guess
9 weeks.
Technically, it's been.
I feel like it's maybe 11 weeks because
11 weeks because the first one, I don't think we counted as one episode.
Yes.
So.
And then the last one we did felt like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Dr. Clark really got to me.
But hey, guys, we're back for another episode. Obviously, you guys see the title already. 4 reasons why she doesn't love you. This is going to be a hot topic, so get ready to be offended.
Exactly.
But anyway, guys, just a quick recap. So last week we had the Berean moment. Great episode with Mother Vanessa. Man, that was. Remember where I said it was going to be a tearjerker? Did I lie? No, it was a tearjerker.
Yes,
guys. Part 2 is coming up, or part B for that episode will be up this week on Wednesday. Be on the lookout for that. Make sure you guys subscribe to Brother Kabir's channel. Stay connected. That way you can keep up with what Straightway Praiseland is doing. Also, we had a great Sister to Sister show last week as well. Shout out to Sister Ashley.
Yes,
Mother Jennifer.
Oh, actually, I think it was Mother Carol.
Oh, and
was it Mother Carol?
Mother Carol was on
there.
Yeah. And
I think she took a break.
Exactly right. But thank you guys so much for the labor of love that you sisters put out there for the show. We really appreciate all the mothers, all the wisdom that comes out of that show. Thank you very much. And a special thank you to Pastor Dow that allows them to get on the air to be just to share the wisdom that these sisters have for the other sisters. So also great service last Shabbat. Beautiful, powerful message about the flesh. Guys, if you guys missed it, make sure you go check it out. Keep up to date. You can find all the schedules for the blog talks and all that stuff on straightway.com. But yeah, that's pretty much it, but I don't have too many more announcements. Do you have anything that interesting?
I do have something interesting. So today in Green Bay, Wisconsin, it's 35 degrees.
Wow.
We just had a 80 degree swing. So it is hot here in Green Bay. I'm not making this thing up. I mean, we had to turn down our heaters. I mean, if we weren't Hebrews, I'd probably be running in shorts and tank top. I mean, it is hot, 35 degrees, because we were dealing with negative 30, negative 50, right?
I know it doesn't sound like it's hot.
I know, but
to us, that's
a heat wave. So it is a heat wave happening right now in Green Bay at 35 degrees. I'm not making this thing up, guys. You go look at go Google it.
Pretty much melted.
Yeah,
we had like 2 feet of snow.
2 feet of snow, and now things are just falling all over the place. It's like everything is just melting around here. So I mean, still snow because it's still cold to some of you folks out there, but that I thought that was very interesting to have that type of a swing. So,
well, brother, 4 reasons.
All right,
4 reasons and why she doesn't love you.
All right, good.
First of all, what inspired you to talk about this topic? I know you have a theme, obviously. I think everyone can agree that you have a theme, especially going through your recent situation. And so I believe that if anybody can come from a point of understanding and experience, it's probably you. You've been through probably the worst of it all.
Well, the reason why you said why I came up with this theme, right?
Yes.
Okay. The reason why I came up with this, people, I'm trying to come from a perspective that I know what it was like to be a Christian. I was immersed in Christianity for 16, 17 years. I'm losing a little bit of track, but somewhere around there. And I went all out. I mean, just like I'm trying to do as a Hebrew Israelite, as straightway, I'm trying to go all out and be the very best servant, the best disciple I can possibly be in that ministry. I mean, everything I try to shoot for excellence in everything I do. Even doing community, I want our community to be the very best. So, but when I was in Christianity, what I realized, and I believe that a lot of people that came from that, and I think that a lot of us here in the truth, and people who may be looking at this that's not in the truth, in Christianity, we are taught that people are what they say they are. So if they say I'm a Christian, we just believe that they're a Christian. If they say that they're a Bible believing Christian, you just believe they're a Bible believing Christian.
It kind of reminds me of what we're dealing with today in today's generation. Well, I feel like a woman.
I feel like a woman.
You have to address me as a woman. If you don't, then all hell's gonna break.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter what you see. It doesn't matter what you can physically prove. It's all about what they say. It's what they feel. If the wife says I love my husband, she loves it. She got to be true. She loves her husband. If the husband says I love my wife, it's got to be true. It doesn't matter if he's not providing. It doesn't matter if the woman's not obeying. It's got to be true. You know, if you ask a man, are you the head of your home? He says, yeah, I'm the head of my home. Just because he says he's the head of the home, you know. Even the woman said, yep, he's the head of the home. But what I'm trying to show you guys that the Bible says you will know them by their fruits. Okay. Yep. So you can't just say I have fruit. You got to actually go and be a fruit inspector. You go to the tree and you go see what type of fruit and what type of tree that the fruit is, that the tree is producing. You go look at it. Is it spoiled? Is it good? Or is it bad? You can tell. Yes, and so I want to be able to show you how to inspect to see if your wife truly loves you. So this is not just a message for the men to be able to inspect to see if their wife truly loves them, because a lot of men think that their wife loved them, but they don't. Because she said so, or just because her girlfriend says so, or whatever. And so I want to be able to give you 4. I mean, there's so many we could have pulled out, but these are the 4 things that I put out in my own personal life.
These are probably 4 things that everyone can probably
relate to. Yeah. And so
it's pretty common.
It's very common. And so I'm going to go through those 4 points. And please, guys, feel free to discuss. Get in the chat room. If you have some, let's interact today, because
don't worry, guys, we're not going to give you a 2 hour.
It's not going to be 2 hours. This may be short, so it's really up to you.
We'll vex you with a Christian speech today.
I'm taking this is like my little vacation from what happened with Focus on the Family.
We got to recover.
Exactly, really got it. So anyway, I want to show you how to say. So this is not just for the men to know how to inspect if their wife truly loves them, and then 2, it also teaches women also too how to judge if they truly love their husband. I mean, you can't just say it. You got to show fruit. You got to show fruit. And so that's kind of what we're going to go through. So I'm going to give some indicators or some fruit. Yes, so that's something that you can be able to judge on and say, okay, I don't love my husband. So I'm just going to give some common, maybe day-to-day things that husband and wife may go through. Yeah, so we're just going to go through that. So are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Hit me with the first one.
So here's the first one. The first one is this. What's the sign that she doesn't love you? If your wife contradicts you in public, she doesn't love you. And what do I mean by that? Contradicts you. Or let me give you an example. So let's say you're talking to your children about something. You're telling them to do something, and she chimes in and says, well, how come we can't do it this way? Or, well, whatever. I mean, if she starts questioning you or contradicting you in front of the children, she doesn't love you. If she does it in front of friends or in public when you guys are talking, and when the man is talking or he's making the suggestion, she comes in and just pretty much disrespects him in front of his guest, or Just like Esther, you know, when the king told his Queen Vashti to come out, so that, you know, to introduce the guest, she didn't come out. That's what I'm talking about. She doesn't love you. And so these are stuff, and sometimes this even happens too when it's in public, but it's really in private, meaning it's not happening in front of you. And I think this happens a lot. And I think this is one of the things that may even happen to me, that when you at work putting food on the table for your family and making sure that they're provided for, what is the wife doing when you're not looking? What is she teaching? What is she instilling in those children? Is she reverence you? Is she encouraging children that they need to honor their father? I mean, you can tell when the children come home. Do they do what you tell them to do? If you told them you want certain things to be clean or put away, and you come home, you don't see it done. Yeah. Does she help to carry those things out, to carry out your vision? Is it about her? You know. So anyway, these are ways. If she contradicts you publicly, privately, she doesn't love you.
Yeah, and I like the example that you just gave, Brother Kabir, because I remember growing up, and you know, my dad, when he went through 2 divorces, and I'm a product of those 2 divorces. And I remember in the most recent divorce that he had that any sort of private conversation that my mom would have with my father, it would somehow later on appear in a conversation with the children when he was away from home. So then when dad came back home and the situation maybe gets brought up, you would automatically side with your mother and then even chime in and say, yeah, dad, mom's right. And then my mom would say, well, see, look. You see, even the children agree. But she's not saying that because, oh, see, now they didn't know what's happening and they agree. But she's saying that because she already prepped them up to the point, and then now the father feels attacked, feels cornered. I mean, I don't know if you.
This is a funny story, but it's not funny because of what happened. But but this is how minutia this thing can get, where you can tell that your wife doesn't love you. I remember one time, my ex-wife bought she found a bicycle, a pink bicycle, that somebody, you know, gave and she wanted, you know, it's so cute or whatever. She wanted my daughter to ride the bike, but I had this thing called the glider, and it doesn't have any type of pedals, right? It doesn't have any pedals, just so it teaches the child to just work on balancing without the pedals and everything, because we didn't do training wheels. But anyway, I wanted to teach my daughter how to ride a bike, you know, the way that, you know, I got this glider for all my children. And she was so stuck on trying to make sure that she can ride the pink bicycle, you know, that's for girls or whatever. And I already told them what I wanted, but then I get outside, I'm like, what's she doing with the pink bike? I had to take that away for getting on the glider. And then all of a sudden, you know, the ex-wife at the time saying, well, how come she can look at this? And she started crying. And I'm like, man, take the bike, put it away, and get the glider. And then the children start chiming in, yeah, Dad. What? I'm like, what? I said, whoa. I said, don't you ever talk to me like that. But why was the children doing that? Because this is something that she created. She was literally triangulating with the children about my decision on how I want to train my daughter on how to ride a bike. I mean, just stuff like that.
Right, and like you've covered before, those are automatic. Those are red flag guys.
Red flags
that you might be dealing with a narc. If this is what you're experiencing, and these things are happening, things like this, it's a spirit, narcissistic spirit. It's a Jezebel spirit. I mean, to the T.
You may think it's not a big deal, guys. I'm telling you now from experience, these are signs that I didn't even see, and so it took me by. So I'm trying to just give you guys heads up. So those are just things that you can see, because just like we're the bride of Christ, right? I'm the bride of Christ. You're the bride of Christ, right? The head of every man is Christ, and the head of every woman is man, right? Can you imagine if we start contradicting the Bible to our children? Well, I disagree with this, and I don't like this, and what are we doing? We're chipping at the character and the nature of the Most High.
Come on,
right? We don't do that. I mean, have y'all ever really sat down and changed my children's diaper? Nope. Has he ever came in and read a bed night story to my children? Nope. He's never done any of this stuff. But my children at the time when I was raising them all thought that he was good. I mean, he was a good father. Right? They thought he was good. Why? Because of my testimony. And so the wife should be doing the same thing for the husband. So once again, if the wife is contradicting you, she doesn't love you. So anyway, let me go on to point two. Let me go on to point two. Does anybody here, point number 2 now. Another point number 2 that shows that she does not love you. If she puts the children before you. Can you relate to that?
I can relate to that. But give us an example.
Let me give you an example.
Give us an example.
Now, guys, I think a lot of people can relate to this stuff. When I remember, like, you know, my wife wasn't a cook. I mean, but she cooked. But I tell you, man, there was times that I used to think, like, dang, I wish I was my children. You know, like, they have it good. Like, I mean, like, when the children had school, I mean, she made sure that they ate. You know, I'm like, and I just got leftovers. You know, I don't get treated like that anymore now. I think I'm gaining some weight here.
If you guys follow Brother Kabir on Instagram or Facebook, you guys know that Brother Kabir, I don't think you might have to forcefully skip a meal just because you get.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I'm getting fed here. I mean, I think I'm the first one too to have to eat because I'm the head of community. So anyway, but when the children comes before you, if you feel like the children are coming before you, that she's doing more for the children than she's doing to you, she's tending more to the children than she's tending to you, she doesn't love you. It's just straight up. She does not love you. What's another?
And you know, that's such a backwards way of thinking compared to American society. Because at least the way I grew up, even in my father's first marriage, I would say was more patriarchal. And then his second marriage was more of a matriarch marriage. And I remember how the children would get fed first, and then my dad, and then my mom. So the children were always deemed to be
the top one.
You know,
what did it say? It says that in Isaiah, I think it says in Isaiah, it says that the children will be the oppressor and she will rule over them. That's kind of what it is. I mean, even to the point where not just eating. I mean, you know, the children, you know, and here's some of the excuses that women would say. Well, he's a grown man. He can make his own food. Why do I got to make it? Remember, women, sisters, you were created for the man. You weren't even created for your children. You were created for the man to be his help meet. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
And if I'm wrong, God, give me some scriptures there. So that is what the woman's role is. While he's out there busting his butt to provide, to put a roof over your head, clothes on your back, doing all the stuff that a man's supposed to conjure rights, your job is to help him. That is your function, is to help him. So anyway, that's one thing. Or like, for example, here's another way that a woman can show that she doesn't love you within this thing where you don't feel like she put the children first. So let's say, you know, I had a thing that I wanted the children to make sure they clean up the house before they go to bed. Well, instead, you know, mom would let the children play first. They'll play and they'll play so long, but she wanted to get them in bed because she wanted to make sure that they, you know, they wasn't groggy in the morning and wanted to make sure they got to bed just in time. And I come home and say, hey, why is the house dirty? I said, well, the children, you know, they had homework, they were playing around, but no. So I would wake them up. She would say no. She wouldn't want to wake them up. She will fight me not to wake them up so they can clean up, so they can have
and they knew the rules.
Yeah, they knew the rules. She knew the rules. And so that, once again, guys, when your mission and your orders are not being carried out, she doesn't love you. It's just straight up. What did Jesus say? If you love me, you will
keep my commandments.
If you love me, you keep my commandments. So I don't care what in Christianity the woman can say, oh, I love him, I'm praying for him. Means absolutely nothing if she's not obeying.
Wow.
So anyway, let's go into point number 3. Point number 3. If she shops all day, right, and if she shops all day and buys more stuff for herself than you, she doesn't love you. Now, guys, I put it, but there's some truth to that stuff. Yeah. There's some truth.
This is real life.
So this is real life. A lot of these women, especially, you know, maybe because I was high, affluent. So maybe this is more particular to people that it was in my status, or that's in my status, is that a lot of these stay-home moms, these women in these suburban areas, they will shop all day. Just shop and I mean, I used to see, I thought me and UPS knew we had to have a special code for UPS because they kept on delivering every day to deliver something back, to bring something back. And rarely was it for me, but I was paying for everything. So if she is buying a whole bunch of stuff for herself and not really thinking about you, she doesn't love you. What do you think? I know you can't, I don't know if you can relate to that, but that was just something I thought was really funny.
I think that's universal because most of these people who spend, I mean, they're not even spending their own money, first of all. The least that they could do is consider where the money's coming from. Right? And
it's wasteful. You know, that's another thing. If she really loves you, she'll be more frugal. I mean, look how you guys do with the community. You always like, hey, is it okay? I mean, you checking to make sure. But the other one's like, man, I'm just gonna buy whatever, you know. So that's a good sign that she doesn't love you. And the last one, you know that she doesn't love you if you do not feel like a king
in your own home.
In your own home. I remember this one dude. Remember we talked to this one dude. He his wife had like a little Bible study. You know, she just joined a little Bible study, and he came home from work, and the woman told her husband that we're not done. Can you please wait outside?
In his own home.
Did you guys hear what I just said? The guy comes home. He does hard labor. He's a hard labor, right? Kind of job. Comes home, and this woman's girlfriend is all, and she's supposed to be working for him and doing some stuff, and she literally tells him, "Can you please wait outside? We're not done." Guys, that is totally disrespectful. That man did not feel like a king, and I can tell you, I felt more like I love being a servant actually, but I felt more like a servant to a helpmeet to my ex, to my children, to the dog. I'm like running around. I mean, now I'm in community and I got people who are submitted to me and they're taking things off my plate. You know, do I not fight to keep some of my, you know, I think me and Brother David, we're snowplowing. Like we're supposed to be a snowblower. He says, "Can I do it?" And I end up doing the whole thing. Yeah, I mean, I was gonna do it, but once you get into it, man, it got addictive. You know, just seeing the snow, you know, it was a big snow. I mean, it was just a little snow, maybe, but anyway. But I love these people, man. They're really. I mean, I'm submitted to Pastor Dow. These guys are submitted to me, and it's beautiful. It's just so peaceful. Just shalom. Would you agree? Isn't there peace that passes all understanding? Exactly.
No, I would definitely agree. I think, I mean, if correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's a peace that the world can never offer.
No.
Can never offer, no matter what you put yourself into and what position you put yourself into. When you actually are around people who truly care for your souls, that's what makes all the difference.
I can tell you right now, I got to tell you this, Brother David, and this is the same house I built for my family, right? I've never felt so much more of a king since I came to since you guys moved in. I feel more like a king. Things are smooth. The ministry here, Straightway Praise Land, is just off the chain. You know, everything we try to do with excellence. Does that mean we're perfect? No, but you know us. We always striving for perfection. Exactly. And I could never, my dad is being well taken care of. I mean, just everything. I mean, it's just amazing. I got some great people who I know love me. Now look at me. Now this is so funny. I had an ex-teammate, right? An ex-teammate of mine that used to play at the Packers. I'm not talking about Brother Daniel, so don't think I'm talking about Brother Daniel. But I got a guy that I play ball with, and he kind of know about my situation. He told me that I need to kick everybody out of Straightway that's staying here with me, so that maybe that my wife will come back, my ex-wife will come back. And I said, I'm eating better. My dad is being taken care of better than he was even at a assisted living where we were paying $40,000 a year, $40,000 a year. And he's telling me to leave. He said, well, just trust that God will provide. Guys, see, in Christianity, all you have to say is that, oh, I love him, or this stuff. But in Straightway, what I've experienced is love is shown. It's not, I mean, we say it, but I don't even think we say it as much. I think we just show it a lot more. What do you think?
I think it's funny because a lot of Christians will, you know, topics like this get really misinterpreted. Yeah. And a lot of people will always throw that, well, Jesus washed the disciples' feet. And so is that, I mean, he served. Okay, let's think about this, right?
Yep.
When's the last time those Christians washed anybody's feet?
No one. Nope.
So you're going to point the finger.
Yeah.
How many times have we washed people's feet?
Many times. That's what we do. Hey, let me ask you this. Hey, who washed your guys' feet when you guys came here?
You did.
You see that? I mean, so we serve one another. We serve one another. I am the greatest servant of all. I take care of everyone that's here. And guess what? They take care of me. They take care of my dad. They take care of the home. They take care of the community. So we all serve it. We all serve it. But I can tell you this, for the person who's responsible has Pastor Dow. He is the greatest servant of them all. I mean, he is responsible for this whole thing. And so he has to teach us. He has to make sure all the community is running, functioning well, and has to meet with all the community heads. So anyway, guys, so if you don't feel like a king, I'm telling you that right now, if you're the guy that likes to stay at the bar and don't want to, so instead of going to work and going straight home and you're going to a bar, or you're staying in your car a little bit longer, or or you find some way not to get home is because she doesn't love you. You should be looking forward to coming home.
Running home.
I'm gonna be honest, guys. I mean, I'm trying to get out the house, but sometimes I just like staying here. It just feels so, lovely in it. And then when I'm gone, I can't wait to get back home. Even the food. I mean, like, I'm telling you guys. So if you don't feel like a king, she doesn't love you. So let me go over it all. So if she contradicts you in public, she doesn't love you. If she puts the children before you, she doesn't love you. Nope. If she shops all day and doesn't buy anything for you or buy more than you, but just doesn't really buy anything for you, she doesn't love you. And I just threw that in there. And most definitely, if you don't feel like a king, she doesn't love you, because she should. And most of these women will say, man, well, how come I can't be treated like a queen? Well, guess what? If you treat him like a king, guess what? Just maybe you may feel like a queen.
Doesn't the word say seek his kingdom first, and
all these things will be given unto
righteousness.
And only pay. He says, seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all those things. He knows what you need. All those things will be given unto you, right? And so that's what the woman should be. Is she should be seeking her husband's kingdom, his house, his commandments, right? His righteousness, and all those things will be given unto her. That's how it should look like. So, guys, if I'm saying something that's unbiblical, I already told you guys. I have my little look. I even have my little cheat sheet right here. I don't know if you can see my little cheat sheet. I say husband equals Christ, wife equals the assembly or church. Just to stick to what the Bible says in King James. That's what it should look like. Even Titus chapter 2, verse 4. If you even look at the order, let me read what it says here. Let me see if I can find this here. In Titus 2:4, what does it say here? Titus 2:4 says, and they may teach the young woman to be sober, to love their husband. I'm surprised it says love your children. It says love their husbands, to love their children, to be discreet, chaste keepers at home, good, obedient. I got to put that in there. Obedient to their own husband, that the word of Yah may not be blasphemed. What do you think? What do we got anything in the chat room?
That's on point, brother. I mean, there's not. I mean, not unfortunately, but we just have a lot of listeners who agree with us, right? So,
okay.
But at the same time,
somebody's gonna listen to this later.
This is a good conversation. I mean, this is guys, this is real life. I mean, I know this sounds. When we make titles, it's just to grab your attention, and it seems it's just to trigger you guys. But guys, this happens every single day. I mean, families are being destroyed by people overlooking these small little details. That when you overlook these little details, at the end of the day, I can almost guarantee you 100% that you're going to be dealing with a divorce. And I mean, what were you saying about the Super Bowl? Maybe we shouldn't even bring that up right now.
Oh yeah.
Watching all those people about the wives. You said that.
Yeah. So look at this. I was talking to him about the Super Bowl. You guys know the New England Patriots won again. Tom Brady got his 6th Super Bowl. I mean, this guy has won more Super Bowls than anyone in the history of the game. But here's the sad part. And guys, I'm not trying. I don't want this for the man. We actually, believe it or not, I was drafted higher than Tom Brady. Me and him came in the same year. He came in 2000. He was a 6th round. I was a 5th round. Can you believe that? I was drafted higher than Tom Brady. I can tell you got paid more than I did. So it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And guess what? He's finishing strong. But here's the sad part about the whole thing. As beautiful as his career is, as beautiful all the wins he has, his wife is going to leave him. I promise you, she will leave him. He's gonna when he finishes this game, it's gonna come a point. He's gonna be at home, and now he's gonna be like, man, having an itch, like, man, I should be leading something. He's not gonna be able to lead a football team anymore because he's too old. He's gonna get to that point, and maybe he got another year in him. I don't know, but he's gonna start trying to lead his home. And when he starts trying to lead his home, and he's gonna be trying to lead a woman who's been accustomed to doing her own thing while he's at work, busting his butt, trying to win championship for his team. Guess what? She's not going to put up with that stuff. And guess what? She's going to end up taking half and kick the traces. That's what she's going to do. Now, it sounds like she's a model and she got her own money, but I'm just telling you, I don't see them being together for a long time. But I hope I'm wrong. I actually hope that I'm wrong. I want to, but I'm just telling you. And guys, you know how come I can say that kind of confidently? 80% of the guys that play in the NFL within 2 years of leaving the game filed for bankruptcy and divorce. And I think this, because of divorce, they have to file for bankruptcy. Guys, I'm part of the 80%er. So, and it took me how many years? 16 years? 10 years from leaving the game. So, I mean, so guys, it is true. I mean, the divorce rate is high. It's in the 80s, 90% and the NFL, and is even higher in the NBA. I mean, look at it. Just go Google up any celebrity. Just go Google them up. You can always see their first, second, third. They're on their third marriage, fourth marriage. It's just simple. So anyway, I hope did that answer your question?
Yes, sir. Yeah, no, that I mean, just touching on. I mean, when you see these, I mean, obviously because you have the experience, you played the game.
Yes.
So I mean, you saw me. I was frustrated, stressed out yesterday, but watching all that. But it's just true, man. I mean, you look at these. We live in a society where it's driven by feminism.
It is big time.
And the man, I mean, even the commercials we saw, all the commercials, all the men, they made them look like simps, just dumb, docile, stupid, and good for nothing. But then the women, I mean, I think there was that even the little children's thing, like you know, strong women, and they were like, yeah, this is how you you know, stand up to your fears. And it was the women against the men. So
girl power,
all this stuff. And it's just amazing. But when you're blind, you don't see these things. You accept them and you think it's all kosher and all this stuff. But when you have eyes to see, you start noticing all these things and how wicked this world is.
And so, guys, so in Christianity, they don't have eyes to see. That's why they go off of what they hear, meaning what people say. But one thing that's very important when you're looking at fruit, you can't go inspect fruit with your ears. You need to actually look. And the Bible tells us you will know. You would know. He says, those that say they know me and keep my those that know me are the ones that keep my commandments, and those that say they know me and keep not my commandments are a liar, and the truth is not in them. So he says you will know. This is not like, oh, I can't read your heart. No, you don't need to read their heart. Just look at their lifestyle. Look at their conversation. That's how you're going to know who you're dealing with. So men, if you want to know, and I want to actually encourage men, start testing your wife. Test her. Where do I get that from? Does Yah not test us? See if we love him? Did he not test Job? Did he not test Abraham? Did he not test? Did he not test his prophets and people to see if they will follow him? Right? Test your wife. That's what we should be doing. You know why? Because if you don't test them now, and when the big one comes, when the Most High calls on you or gives you an assignment and it requires you to obey, and it requires to get you and your whole family to move, if she's not trained to move with you, it's a good chance is gonna destroy the family. How can two walk together? It says in Amos 3:3. Is it Amos 3:3? It says, how can two walk together unless they agree? Right? Yep. And so can you imagine? I mean, I don't know if we have Brother Gideon online. Is he online?
I haven't seen him.
Okay, but Brother Gideon, but even Pastor Dow. But can you imagine if the New England Patriots came out on Super Bowl and didn't even practice? Didn't practice. They just talked about plays that they're going to do, but never actually ran through the plays. Or with Brother Gideon with the gun shoot, can you imagine? What did he always tell us to do? Practice, practice, practice. It's the same thing. If you're not as the head of your home, you need to make sure that your family is trained to listen to your voice, just like a sheep. He says, "My sheep knows my voice." How do you know they know your voice? Because when the time comes, there's going to be other voices. Satan's going to try to come and steal, kill, and destroy. And if your wife and your children are not trained to listen to your voice,
they won't be ready.
They're not going to be ready. So guys, men, start testing, and sisters and women, you need to obey. Your job is real easy. Obey your husband. That's it.
Yes, sir. Well, guys, we're going to cut it off early. Yep. I think we guys enough ammo here. And just be attentive to next week's show. But just quick announcements. So coming up on Wednesday, the Brienne moment, the continuous to Vanessa's interview. Guys, make sure you guys stay tuned to that. I believe it is going to bless you. She's got such a beautiful testimony. She's overcome so much. And she's an old, elderly lady who can give you some life experience, to say the least. What's next? Sister to Sister. Thursday nights at 7 or 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Yes, sir. And then we have Blog Talk Radio with Pastor Dal on Fridays at 7 p.m. And we have Shabbat service at 11 a.m. It's on straightway.com, guys. Stay tuned. We got more stuff coming for you guys. Stay encouraged. Brother Kabir, last words.
Hey, I'm curious to see what's the visual. I'm just curious what everybody's visual.
No, we're good.
Okay, we're good. Okay, good. Well, guys, hey, I just want last word, guys. Just continue staying in that word. Continue following the Most High. Continue to grow in this stuff, guys. This is serious stuff. And start looking at that fruit. Start looking at that fruit in your home. This will give you an opportunity to make sure to be able to assess if your home is walking in the right direction or not. Okay, so this is all to help you. I hope to stimulate thoughts. I hope this sink deep down in your heart, and love you guys. Shalom, shalom.